Hi everybody, I'm back. It's been a few days since my last video, and I just wanted to give you guys an update about, what I was doing on Sunday. I did end up doing some more chores, and I got one of the more tedious things taken care of, which is great. There's always more to do, chores never end. However, this week, since starting on Sunday, things haven't been going very well for me. It's been a pretty bad week. It started on Sunday. After I finished filming for the day, I went downstairs to finish my laundry by putting the stuff from the washer into the dryer, and when I opened the lid to the washer, I saw there was a whole bunch of water still in it, and the washer is pretty old and it's happened before where it wouldn't drain. The only thing you have to do is switch the knob to the spin cycle and it'll kick on. I did that this time and it did not work. So I started freaking out, and I thought, well, I was messing with the breaker box earlier in the morning because of something else that happened, which I'll get to in a second. So I thought maybe I'll switch the breaker box switches again, see if that would kick it into gear. I did. It didn't do anything, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe the electrical outlet is not working. So I decided to grab an extension cord and plug it into an outlet in the basement that I knew worked, and plugged the washing machine into that plug, and it didn't work. And at this point I'm getting kind of, muffined. So after I did that, I just decided, it was like at 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, and I was like frustrated because I was like messing around in the basement for, a while and nothing was working, and I needed my clothes done. And so I gave up and I went upstairs, and in a fit of annoyance, I got online and I ordered a new freaking washer because, I'm sick and tired of it not working properly. Like, I shouldn't have to manually switch it, to the spin cycle every single time I do the laundry. So, in the morning, I still needed, on Monday morning, I still needed to go in and try to figure out what I was going to do, because I needed my clothes. I'm like, well, maybe I can call my brother and go over to his apartment and use his washing machine and dryer. And I sort of nicked that in the butt because I didn't want to do that. Don't know if the laundromats are open or not. I would assume so, since they're kind of essential for a lot of people. But I'm like, okay, I have one more idea. A few months ago, my washing machine did the exact same thing. It made it all the way to the rinse cycle. It would fill up with water, and then it would not drain. And so I decided, well, I didn't decide, I told my brother, like, hey, the washing machine ain't working, what should I do about that? And he came over and we tore the whole back of it off, and eventually we got the front console off, and we found out that it was the lid switch that sort of got fried. And so we ordered a new part, put it back in. I'm like, this last Sunday, I'm like, that can't be it. We just freaking, switched it out, switched the switch, out a few months ago. It shouldn't be that. But I go downstairs, and after much trial and error, I got the front console off, and sure enough, as soon as I jerry-rigged the switch, to make the washer think that the lid was always closed, even if it wasn't. I turned it, to the spin cycle, and it started working. So that's what happened on Monday. I finally got the washing machine working, which was great. But that was like the second thing that happened. The first thing on Sunday that happened was I went to take a shower early in the morning, and I turned on the shower, obviously, the water, and I waited for it to warm up. It didn't. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's too much cold water, because I turned both on, the hot and the cold water, and I turned back the cold, so there'd be more warm water. Waited a few minutes, well, not a few minutes, but a few seconds. No hot water. Turned the water all the way off, and ended up still not getting any hot water. So that's why I went down to the basement on Sunday morning to flip the breaker box switches, and ended up that was the problem. Something popped, and just turned it back on, waited half an hour, went out to the kitchen, turned the water on, and it did start warming up. And I'm like, okay, I'll wait another hour to take my shower, because I didn't want to run out of warm water halfway through. That's what I did, and I finally got my shower. And then, of course, Sunday evening, the washing machine, decided, to crap out on me. So good news is, out of that whole situation, I got hot water, for my shower, and the I have a new washing machine coming eventually. I haven't heard back about it yet. It's been only a few days. So that happened. Tuesday came and went. Nothing tremendous happened. But then on Wednesday, I around 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I decided to make some dinner to eat, obviously, before I went into work. I made some chicken tenders, some cheesy shells, and some green beans. It's pretty good for me. Don't normally eat a lot of vegetables. So I cooked all that. I ate my meal. Everything was great. And I left to go to work, around 4:45. And while I was at work, the whole meal thing will be important later. When I was at work, I got a call from my brother, and a text from my brother, and he said, hey, when you get a second, call me. And of course, I'm like, well, that doesn't sound good. So I texted him back real quick, and I said, am I in trouble? Because you never know. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll call you. Well, I didn't say this, but, I was thinking I'll call him in a few minutes. I was at work, but I had a free minute, so I did end up calling him. And come to find out, he told me, a family member that I wasn't particularly close to, but still sad nonetheless. He was an older gentleman, and he ended up passing away from a fall. So that sucked to hear, and to find out that his daughter found him. But it's upsetting, of course. So that put a damper on the evening, obviously. I feel bad, that she had to go through that. It just sucks, because in the last 3 years, I have lost like 3 family members, and it's terrible. Like, these last 3 years have sucked. And then, this week, sucks from all the problems and, bad news that, I've been getting. And, like, for Wednesday, that wasn't even, like, the last thing, that could have potentially gone wrong. I get home around 9 o'clock at night, and I get into the house, and I slightly smell like this weird smell, but, I didn't think too much about it. I let the dog out, and when I went into the kitchen, that's when the smell became really bad. It was sort of like a charcoaly burnt smell. And I go to where my stove is, and I look down, and the pot that I had the green beans in, the only thing that was left in it was, like, little charred black bits. Like, I'd left the frickin' pot on the stove and had turned the stove down to a lower setting, but it still burnt the inside of the frickin' pot, like, black. Like, I could have, like, potentially, like, destroyed my house because I was being an idiot. And, of course, like, I have animals, and that would have sucked. It hasn't been a good week, and it's not even over yet, so I dread, what the rest of the week is going to entail. But, life goes on, I guess, so I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope you guys have been having a better week than I have. I wanted to do something different for today, but I'm waiting on the tripod to come, and it's not going to come until at least the 20th, so I have like 6 more days to go because this is May 14th. So, yeah, I'm waiting on that. But I guess that is all that I have for today. I hope the rest of you guys have, good rest of the week, good weekend. Hopefully I'll make another video on Sunday. I'm planning something, but who knows if that's gonna come to pass. We'll see. So again, have a good day. Bye, guys.